The galaxy is at peace, a strange peace, built not on treaties or victories, but on the swift and inexplicable actions of a single species, humans. Before humans appeared, the galaxy was full of conflicts, skirmishes, war for resources, ancient conflicts. Empires grew and fell, alliances changed. The void between stars was often a dangerous space. Conventional warfare, powered by predictable FTL methods, was a constant reality. Their ships would appear without warning, no subspace signature, no long-range detection. One moment, fleets in battle and desperate combat. The next, a human ship or a small fleet would simply be there. Their first action was always the same. Universal broadcast transmitted in every frequency and every known and unknown language. Peace! And then they would fire, not on one side or another, on both. Their weapons, far more advanced than everything we know, would cut shields and armor, not to destroy, but to disable. They didn't engage in prolonged battles. They came, transmitted their message, and incapacitated both fleets. In moments, the conflict would cease, not because one side won, but because none had a capable ship to keep fighting. And the same way they arrived, they would vanish. No hail, demands, or attempts to communicate. They didn't board the ships. They didn't claim territory. They didn't even acknowledge the population below. They came, yelled peace, disabled everything they could fight, and left. They took no sides, showed no favoritism. A powered dreadnought and smaller frigate were treated identically. All that mattered was they were engaged in conflict. After a few years, the message was clear. Engaging in war brought an unstoppable force. The cost of conflict became astronomically high. Not just the enemy, but the guarantee of your own forces being disabled by humans, leaving them vulnerable and adrift. Slowly and grudgingly, the galaxy started to adapt. Conflict stopped, tensions remained, but warfare became a gamble that few were willing to take. The galaxy is at peace. But this peace bred resentment, fear, and growing sense of threat. Humans had become the most dangerous power in the cosmos. Their motives unknown, their origins a mystery, and their capabilities undeniable. They were a bigger threat to sovereignty than any rival empire, because they could disarm anyone, anywhere, at a whim. Alliances, formed for mutual defense against old empires, began to reform with a new purpose: to understand and, if necessary, defeat humanity. But the problem was simple. Where did they come from? We knew that they called themselves humans. They originated from a planet called Earth, but their instantaneous FTL left no trail, no way to track their origin. They were everywhere and nowhere. Are they even from this galaxy? Their ships were way more advanced than anything we collectively have. Their energy signatures were off the charts, their hull compositions unknown to our scanners, and their weapons could dissect a fleet without destroying it, from the simplest fighter to the mightiest dreadnought. And perhaps the most difficult question of all: how do you justify fighting someone that is asking for peace? They arrive, declare their intention for peace, and then guarantee that. Their actions, while devastating to military assets, were not driven by malice or conquering desires. How do you rally your people, your allies, to fight against a species whose only clear message is peace? It was moral paradox, a propaganda nightmare. The galaxy was at peace, yes, but it was an uneasy peace, overshadowed by the silent threat of human intervention and the burning desire of other species to reclaim their right to fight, their right to war. The stage was set, not for a war between empires, but for a war against peace itself.